Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. Today we're going to take a look at a Husqvarna 450 chainsaw. Customer complaint is that he ran it over. I'm getting a lot of these lately that are getting run over. This one's smashed up pretty good. The top panel is clearly broken. You can see that the clutch cover's got a big crack in it. Brake handle's gone. Yeah, this thing's messed up pretty good. I think that if I remember right, the customer put a $200 cap on repair costs. And these things go for about, when they're on sale, I think like $400 with a case. Somewhere near there. So I'm trying to get this clutch cover off of here, but because the brake handle's broken, I can't release the brake. You know, people bring me clutch covers all the time that the brake is engaged and they can't get them back on the saw. And I say, you know, was it hard to get the cover off? And they're like, yeah, I had to pry it off. If this is what you're going through to remove your clutch cover, you need to rethink what's going on, because obviously this is not the way it's supposed to come off, by prying it. So we are going to try and get in here and release this brake rather than try and pry it off the drum. There might be just enough material here to grab to release it. Not quite. Let's try that one again. Because that piece is broken on the front, I'm able to get in here with the channel lock and release it enough to pop it off of there. I'm getting poked by this broken handle. We'll get that out of the way. That pin is still hanging on that's holding that piece on there. We'll try it one more time with the pliers. I might have to go back and pry it off the drum like all the crazy customers have been doing. There we go. Simple, right? Alright, let's get this bar and chain out of the way. See what we got going on underneath here. This has got a plastic crankcase on it. You know, if he drove over it with the tractor, I suppose the potential is there for a broken, or cracked anyway, crankcase. Or even a bent crank if that clutch cover torqued on the end of the clutch. I think we're alright here though. We'll remove the last bit of brake handle. There is a spring-loaded detent sitting right there. That spring doesn't have a lot of power in it, so even if that came flying out of there, it wouldn't go very far. There's still fuel in the tank, so that's a good sign. It didn't get monster truck to the point of breaking the tank. On the bottom we have what's left of the front handle. 2 screws hold that in place. And I notice a crack right here in the case. Kind of weird that that kind of stands out alone right there. There's not even any scuff marks on it. Not sure about that one. This spring got stretched, so we're going to remove this. Yeah, look at that big wobble in there. And then you can see on the top there's a little bit of a broken fin as well. Boy, that thing really got smashed up, didn't it? Alright, so we have a donor saw. Pretty much intact. This one has a scored cylinder. So when I did the repair, or when I looked this other donor saw over for the customer and told them that it was scored, they walked away from it. So now we have a part saw that we can try and recover some of our diagnostic fee from that repair. And it's going to have most of the parts we need. We can just transfer that spring right over to the other saw. So let's take a look at this handle here once. Oh, there's that broken cylinder. Yeah, that's going to go right on there. This is just an all plastic handle. The 450 is a farmer rancher grade saw. The 4 indicating that series, and the 50 indicating it's about a 50cc saw. So anything in the 1 or 2 range, like a 120 chainsaw, 135, those are residential saws. And anything in the 5 series is a pro grade saw. The 3 series are the older pro grade saws. So we're getting our handle on here, the 5 screws that hold it in place. Shorter screws go in the bottom down here into the fuel tank. There we go. We got a handle back on there. So the brake handle, we can't reuse this one. If you look real close at these 3 raised areas, the edges aren't crisp. They're kind of rounded over. That is a sign that someone didn't have the clutch cover on all the way, and they were moving the brake lever around, and they just the end of the brake handle ramped over the top of the metal release on the clutch cover. We see it quite a bit, actually. But because it's a brake and it's a safety part, you know, I'm not going to take any chances. We're going to put one on that's got some nice, clean, crisp edges on it. We did find a bonus air filter in there, though. See, there's the clean edges I was talking about. That's going to lock into that metal release really nice. So on one side, on the starter side, it just rides over a pin. On the clutch side, we got to get the brake inserted in behind that detent. And you can see it went right in there. These use some special shoulder bolts. And you just run them all the way home. And then the brake will still pivot on there. You know, for getting run over, that starter looks like it's in good shape. Yeah, everything looks like it's functioning good. The only thing that kind of gets me is a little bit of rust on the bottom of the clutch. I'm not sure what that's all about. Unless this happened a while ago and he's just getting around to bringing it in. So what are we digging around for? New clutch cover. Or a used one. And now what am I doing? Got the big channel locks or the Nipex. Oh, we got some broken tabs that hold the top cover on. So I'm removing what's left of those snap locks. And I've got some used snap locks here, and you can see there's a little hook on the end of them. And you just push them in until that hook clears the slot, and that'll lock it in there. Just like that. There's our top cover. It's a little beat up, but you know, for used parts, we just charge 50% of the price. We already know there's gas in it. We got oil in it. When I go to prime it up, though, I discover that the primer bulb is flopping around in there. So we got to backtrack a little bit and take a look at replacing this bulb. It got, you know, there's two tabs that hold them primer bulbs in place. It looks like one of the tabs is broken off. So this will get a new primer. These primer bulbs have a long stem and a short stem on them. The long stem is the one that runs back to the return line to the fuel tank. And the short stem gets the line that goes directly to the carburetor. So I'm just sorting out which line is which right now. And once I find the long line, you know, it's kind of tight down in there, and those two lines run right next to each other when I get up to the primer, so it could be easy to mistake which one's which. But once you figure it out, just take the lines and pop them on the back of the primer bulb, and then snap the primer bulb back into place. We got our lines hooked up. We'll just push it in there. There we go. So let's see if it primes. Oh yeah. There's no problems there. Get our top cover back on here. And then our bar and chain. So I want to get the schmutz off of this bar. Make sure that the face of the bar is clean, so it'll mate up flush to the crankcase and the clutch cover. And we'll get our chain installed. You know, this wasn't too bad of a repair. Oh, now see here, I was talking about the brake band being engaged. We just used this special scrunch that's got 3 of the sides knocked out of it, and it locks right into that brake release, and we can reset the brake. And now the clutch cover goes right on. A lot of people don't know that you have to reset that brake if you pried the cover off. And then I try and force the cover on, and sometimes I get it close enough to get the nuts started, and then they run the saw and wreck the brake band. So if this thing starts and runs, then that's all I'm going to have for you on the Husky 450 that was used as a wheel chock. Thanks for watching. Later. What's that tail I got hanging out there?